Hello, everybody. This is Marco. Welcome you to the Marco Guerrero presents Fun with Autographs with my co-host Michael Berkowitz from Box Pop.
Michael from Box Pop and Beauty. Woo!
So we're just testing out some new transition effect, and I thought that was kind of fun. So it actually worked.
That was fun.
But all right, so we're good to go. How's your week, Michael?
Yep. Busy. Just got my work week is almost done, and had a little baby Box Pop and Beauty appointment today.
Nice.
I was telling Marco before our stream started, our baby's already a little political powerhouse. Every photo, our baby was given a little political power sign, little power fist.
There you go. Are you going to update your Box Pop and Beauty Funko Pop to add a little baby in there?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little. We have to do a little pocket pop.
There you go. So we're live on YouTube and Facebook and all over the place. And
Yeah, we've got. Let's see. We've got Charlotte, and I see Junior and Angela. I see Stacy. What's up, everybody? Good to see you guys.
so I'm going to be shipping out starting tomorrow. Start packaging up and getting all and prepping all of the this month's autographs. Just got them back in the mail today. There was a bit of a scare.
Uh-oh.
We did the signing on Sunday because that was the
Okay.
only time she was available. So she sent them out, but she because I sent it with a prepackaged label and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so it has my shipping to her on one side, and then if you flip the card over, it's got the shipping back to me. So I showed her how to put that in, and it's like a little plastic pocket on the box, right? The priority box.
Okay.
So she said after we're done, she says, "Yeah, I'll send them out on Monday." Get the message like around 11 that she dropped them off. Everything was good to go. I'm like, cool. So Monday night goes by, still no update on the tracking. Like 2 in the morning, no tracking information. I'm like 5 in the morning, still no tracking. And like I wake up the next morning, like still no tracking. I'm like, so I messaged her. I'm like, you did this and that? She's like, yeah, I dropped it off. Person said it was go, but she dropped it off at like one of those like bodega box places with like the
Oh, not an actual post
right like
office.
and so I was like, okay, well maybe their UPS comes or USPS comes early or and so I called them. They're like, well, yeah, our guy shows up at like 2:45, 4 o'clock. I'm like, okay, well maybe they just didn't pick it up yesterday or whatever. So all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like 4 o'clock goes by, still no tracking. 5 o'clock, still no tracking. 6 o'clock, and then it wasn't until like 8 o'clock last night that I get a ding that the box was already in Vegas.
What? So yeah, I've heard a lot of that. They're just kind of they're trying to move so fast that they're just throwing them and not scanning them
Yeah,
necessarily.
and so because I what I did is when I ship these, I have them like the text messages. So anytime that
Yeah.
like there's any kind of update, I get a text message. And
Yeah.
luckily, the the distribution from Vegas to here is overnight. So like by midnight, it had left Vegas and was down to Kingman by this morning, and then
Nice.
and so I was able to get the package today.
Awesome.
And so everything's good. All the photos are good. Everything's squared away. It's just sitting there waiting for that tracking because when things are out of your hands, you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
did the somehow did she put the sticker on and it fell off out of the little pouch? Did she put it
Yeah.
on? This and that. It's just like, and then when you drop it off at like the bodega style, like little box places.
It's not the same as when you would just go in person and just get them signed and then you just have
Right. I
them.
mean, I miss those days. I mean,
Yeah.
it does save money. Like I don't have to travel as much. And I do get to video record the sessions at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everything
But
is. Yeah.
where I couldn't do that if I was at the signing type of thing. But
Was this a without obviously trying not to spoil anything? Was this a good I know we've talked about it before. Some signings you've had where they just kind of just sit there and they sign, or was there good
Oh no,
conversation?
it's a good
Or
conversation. I mean, yeah,
nice.
the very very few times is there ones where it's not. They like it, I
Yeah,
think, because it makes it not as boring.
yeah.
They
It gives them something to do while they're
and I
doing
think
it.
they feel awkward too if they're not talking and you're not talking and you're just kind of sitting there watching.
Especially when you're just sitting on camera and you're just sitting there not talking
Yeah,
and you're just doing something. I will say I did some snooping and I saw that. So I saw the voice acting variant sold out.
right.
The inscription variant, I think there's like 7 left, and the art variant, I think there's only like 25
Right.
left. So variants are doing well.
Yeah, and I will say that the art variant will not be $35 after this. So if,
Yeah,
if you haven't got that
I'm
one,
excited to see
the
what that
price is
means.
definitely not going to be $35.
I think people are liking the inscription variant too. Um, seemed like that one got people's eye, but definitely the limited nature of the voice acting variant too got people's eye.
Well, the thing is I would say 95% of the subscribers aren't big on voice actors,
Yeah,
and so I put them in there, just to because I thought it was such a cool character that was voiced, and she did put the character's name on it, the full name, and so that
nice.
was nice. And I did some really nice custom artwork for it. Well, I mean, when I say
Yeah, I'm
custom
excited
artwork,
for
I
this
mean
one.
like Photoshop layering and adding a background and some logos and that kind of stuff. Not like I actually drew the character type of stuff. Because I don't think you guys would want me like a stick figure interpretation of the character. I think we got Michael might have frozen up here. Let's see. Up, I think he's back.
Can you hear me?
Up, yep, you're
Yeah, I'm
back.
back. I don't know
I
what
was,
happened. I froze.
yeah, you did. Well, like I said, when I stream in 4K, it's a little bit touchier.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
I was listening to the stream and I'm like, where am I?
so what I was saying was, is the artwork is me messing around in Photoshop with other like stuff, layering and adding backgrounds and moving things
Yeah.
around so that there's space. Not me actually drawing,
Okay.
because most people wouldn't like a stick figure artwork by me of the character. This is a stick figure interpretation of the character.
Don't you need to have something with a little stick figure body underneath your head?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about. We were talking last time about me playing around with stickers,
Yeah, yeah, there you
and
go. Yeah.
and so like you could like my head on the Annabelle doll body, or like my head,
Did
yeah,
we talk about that off? Did we talk about that off stream or on
that
stream?
that that was off stream,
So
but
yeah, if you guys wanna weigh in, we were talking about it'd be kind of funny. So you see on the stream, Marco's little avatar head. We were joking around if he started sending stickers with like so the Annabelle autograph. If he sent a sticker of the Annabelle doll with Marco's head as the head.
something silly, yeah. But yeah, so got those up. So I'm gonna start working on getting the COAs squared away, getting them all packed up and ready. So my goal is
Nice,
to have at the latest everything shipped out on Monday.
very cool.
Depending on life.
Yeah,
And I know I'm gonna be busy like Friday a little bit and Saturday. So and then tomorrow will mainly be getting them all stickered and put in the system and stuff like that. So
very cool. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Marco's got his own authentication. You can go to it, Truly Authentic, and you can see photos of the signing. And even in the back, in what you can't see is in the infrastructure of it is actually the video of the signing. It's saved
when
in.
when I can record the videos of them,
Yeah.
yeah,
So anyway,
yeah.
how is everybody out there doing?
How's
Yeah,
everybody's week?
yeah, everybody's weak. If you guys have anything going on, we could talk about the. Who wants to talk about the Stallone signing?
Well, first off, let me say that I am not one to bash signings or anything like that. And even though that the price of the Stallone is 750, well, I personally would not pay that much, right? There are people that will,
Oh yeah.
and so I'm of the persuasion that, hey, I would rather have somebody offer it, even if it's at a price that I don't like or afford, rather than it not being offered at all.
There are people who are gonna buy multiple basic 8 by 10, 11 by 14, $750 autographs. And
Right.
they're gonna buy multiple of them and they're gonna put them away.
But see, that doesn't make any sense anymore either, because I mean, I get it. A long time ago, when people didn't have this kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody passed away, their autograph was rare. But like Stallone's autographs are out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Leonard Nimoy, right? While his are still expensive, there's a lot of them out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The same thing if Shatner ever passed away, right? There's, sure, there'll be probably a spike because of all those people buying to think that they'll get a profit later, right?
You look at it though. Okay, let's talk about somebody like let's talk Tim Curry. Tim
Right,
Curry's autograph is out there like crazy.
right.
That being said, when the day comes, people are going to flock.
Well, they will, because
It's just
again,
natural.
they're flocking because they think if they get it now, they'll be able to flip it later. And then the truth is when later comes, they're probably going to flip it for the same price.
Or
And if
less.
anything, the with economics, the value and of the money, it's just autographs are a horrible investment.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to invest into crypto, invest in stocks, invest into property. Do not collect autographs as investments.
Yeah.
You'll never ever come out a winner.
You and you know what? Some of them just like rub me like so Kendall, not getting into a political type conversation, but Kendall is is a huge RBG fan. She actually has a tattoo of RBG. Um and it just like I went and just for giggles, I went and looked and it just kind of it makes me sad the people who TTM'd her, through the mail got RBGs and they're personalized to them. Like these are like you're talking about a historical figure, whatever your political affiliation is. This is an historical woman, and this is a picture that she signed to you, and people were just whoop, let's list it for $1,000.
Well, there's a lot of people through the mail that send multiples again to flip them.
Yeah,
I mean, there's websites dedicated to through the mail.
yeah,
If you guys are interested in through the mail, one website is really good. It costs like $5 either a month. There's like $15 every 6 months. I don't remember the price, but it's not bad. But they
yeah.
have an entire database of addresses, as
Mm-hmm.
well as every time somebody on the site gets one, they update the website or upset the database.
What we've actually been doing in the bunker because so in the bunker we've added,
Well, hold
we
on.
expanded.
Let me finish
Oh, go
real
ahead.
quick.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
And that's called Star Tiger.
Okay, yeah,
So if you go to www.startiger.com, it's a good site. And I know a lot of we do have a small group of people from the Autograph of the Month Club, that go on there and they post about us as well. But,
Mhm.
you know, through the mail is not cheap either, because you have to print the photos, pay for the photos, mail the photos, and for every one you get back, you don't get back five.
yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to finish.
Oh no, no. So like in the bunker, we've expanded our team, and two of the members we brought onto our team in the bunker is Stacy's here, and Stacy, the autograph dude, and Paul, and both of them are avid through the mail, and they've actually started threads in the bunker trying to share, their experiences, what they get weekly. I mean, they send out the amounts that Paul gets back multiple weekly because he has so many out there.
Right.
But they do it, um, you know, they do it for them. Like Paul's are all like inscribed to him with, you know, words of encouragement based on what Paul has written to them. Like, I know that they both write letters to these people, like, and that's what kind of gets me is the ones that I see, the RBG ones that are up there aren't really the ones that were like, here's 5 photos RBG, please sign them. Like, these are personalized to these people from this historical figure. And I just think we as a society just like look at that as like, hey, now I can make a quick extra couple bucks
Well,
because this
to
person's
play
gone.
to play devil's advocate on that side, right? To the whole empathy thing,
Yeah,
we don't know that person's situation,
that's true. They
right?
could, they
They
could need it, especially
they
with what's
could
going
really
on.
need the money. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Especially in times like this, or it could have been, their grandmothers or grandfathers or
yeah, that's
that
true.
passed away and they inherited it, and so they have no connection to it. You know, you never know what somebody's situation personally is. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to like I said, just to play devil's advocate on the
No,
other side.
absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. Everybody's got situations, especially right now.
Right.
So no, you're absolutely right. But yeah, the so going back now to the Stallone autograph though. For Here's what gets me. Fine, if you feel that your signature is worth 750, and maybe it is worth 750. But where do you think writing Rocky is worth an additional double that amount? That amount.
Well, again, it's not. Let me talk about this from a person who does signings, right?
Okay.
It's Stallone doesn't really set the price at 750, right?
Okay.
Stallone's setting the price at 2 hours of my time is going to be worth $500,000, right?
Yeah.
Or $200,000. For 2 hours, I'll sign whatever you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's up to the company like Official Picks here to then sit there and say, okay, if it costs me 250,000 to set this up, I'm going to need to make, another 100,000 or 150,000, right?
Yeah.
Or I need to actually price this to where, and my thoughts is usually you price it to where if you sell 35% of what you have signed to make back your money,
Yeah.
right? Because to cover your bases, right? So if
Yeah.
I'm not at least able to sell 35% of these and break even, then I'm in trouble,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're putting out $250,000, right, that's a lot of money,
Yeah.
right?
And you obviously we're talking about a little bit different world, but still the same highway.
Right.
But you've talked about it before that only part of when you do a signing is the money coming back from Autograph of the Month Club. The other part is coming back from 258 and the aftermarket of these aren't $20 autographs. These are actually 40, 60, $80 autographs.
Right. And I'll talk about that in a minute too.
Yeah.
And we'll circle back to that. But so when you see these prices, right? Again, Stallone is offering 2 hours of his time to sign stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then Official Picks is saying, okay, it's going to cost this much. I need to get this much back. Normally, they would bring him to a convention to offset the price, right? They would have photo ops. They would have the promoter pitch in a certain amount, because them having Stallone at a convention is a ticket seller, right?
Yeah.
But in times like this, that's why I think before when you had Stallone like at Wizard World or had Stallone at someplace else, the prices were $500. So
Really,
now,
really quick before we get away from that, because you brought up the convention. I think Paul mentioned something. Do you know about this? Like that people got so upset at him at a convention once that he canceled because of there was some kind of controversy about his prices. Somebody brought that up in the bunker that there was a convention, the last convention he was supposed to be at. I guess he canceled. I
right?
don't know if anybody in chat knows anything about it, or if you know anything about it, Marco. But I
I,
remember I think Paul said something about.
I don't, but it's understandable because again, backlash. I mean, let me tell you about this time I signed Tom Hiddleston, right?
Okay.
So I made a deal with Tom. We did the signing. It was amazing. He had a blast. I had a blast. He posted out on Twitter that his autograph I think we were selling it for an 8x10. It was like $75 or $80.
Okay.
And then there was a little bit of a backlash from probably about 10 people
Okay.
that just started blasting him, saying, "You're not the person I thought you were, charging for your autograph. This is bullshit.
Oh
We're
God.
fans. I'm not your fan anymore. I thought you were better than that." And he just went on like an apology tour.
God.
Oh no, no, I sign free. Just mail them to me. I'll sign them this and that. And I think that turned him off because he ended up not doing any kind of signings and stuff for a while. I even tried to do some more signings with him later, and it was like a no go.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing happened with like Amelia Clark. I think she just got tired of people throwing nudes at her all the time.
Oh yeah.
But she refused to sign autographs or do signings and stuff for like many, many years.
It blows my mind. We talked. Jr. from Zobi does live updates all the time, and it blows my mind how many times. So they've been doing these V shouts and stuff for a while. All these send in autographs, and it blows my mind how many live updates he has to say, "Stop sending nude photos."
Right.
Like it blows my he's like, we're not sending these people nude photos to sign. Stop.
Yeah, I mean, I remember too at a show like I think it was Elijah Dushku was at a show. Is
Uh
that?
huh.
And like there were certain photos she would not sign, like
Yeah.
certain poses, and people would be pissed. Like, well, if you took the photo, why won't you sign the photo? You know. And
Yeah.
people are like, well, it's a different time in my life. I don't have to do it. It's like, but again, it goes back to people putting their own or projecting their own whatever on people.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how, like I said, $75 for Tom Hiddleston is a pretty good value, right?
Yeah.
But yet
Absolutely.
people were blowing up at him about it. And I had the same issue like when I brought the cast of True Blood to the Chicago Comic Con, right? And I had Sam Trammell, Kristen Bauer, and Britt Morgan,
Uh huh.
and I was charging $35 for Sam Trammell, $30 for Kristen Bauer, signed 8x10s, right, come up, meet them, and then and people complained so much about the prices being so high
Yeah.
that C2E2 sent me a message saying, "Yeah, we had a lot of complaints about your prices," and I'm like, "Well, tell that to the $15,000 I just lost."
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, that was because C2E2's first year, everybody was hearing about San Diego Comic Con and how everybody signs these big cast pieces for free, and they don't tell people, yeah, but that's only 50 people out of
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
200,000.
Yeah.
But again, I go back to not to bash the prices, not to bash official picks or anybody, but I would rather have somebody make them available
Mm-hmm.
and have the option to buy them than never have the option to get a legit
That's
one from
true.
a
I mean, at
source.
least this private signing, it's legit. It's not somebody claiming a street stake. So that's another, before we move on though, I've been meaning, I keep forgetting to ask you. I've been meaning to ask you a question because I know that you spent time with Tom Hiddleston. And I gotta ask, does he have the heaviest handed autograph out there? Because it just seems like the ones that I see, it just seems like he pushes the paint pen so hard.
I don't know if it's heavy handed, but he signs them and he signs them, takes his time,
Yeah.
and I think it's a bit OCD and a bit like he cares,
Yeah.
that whoever's paying for this, whoever's getting it, gets the real deal.
I feel like
Right.
that's like I've seen all the videos I've ever seen of Christopher Lloyd signing. I think it's so you talked before about like people like Nathan Fillion who like try to like sign as many as they can. I mean, and his signature is still consistent even though he's signing fast. But
Right.
then you've got somebody like Christopher Lloyd, and I don't think I've ever seen him do a signing where he doesn't sign his name, pick it up, and look at it,
Right.
and then move it on.
Well, that was the same thing with was it CJ, the Friday the 13th
CJ Graham.
cast, right? He took a lot of pride, and he
Yeah.
went back and he examined every single one. He goes, "See, this is the first one I signed right here," and then he went all the way to the last one. This is the last one. You'll notice that they're all perfect.
Yeah, and I think Christopher Lloyd is very very similar, and I just love it because it's just like he's just like let's be honest, like it's just he's older, so it's just cute to see him like every time he's whether he signs a car, a Funko Pop, a picture, he signs it, he picks it up and looks at it, and then he moves it.
Well, speaking of like expensive autographs and crappy signatures,
Oh God.
why don't we take a look at the other big private signing announcement,
Say hello
the
to my little friend.
Al Pacino,
Yep.
right? So, like for example, again, uh, this is Hollywood memorabilia. I don't even know if they're part of it, but I don't know who's doing the private signing for this. But I did see that Celebrity Authentics has done private signings with him in the past.
Yeah.
Now, the people that were doing the Al Pacino one, the one that I saw online, is this Fetterman Sports Group, which I've never heard of.
I don't know. Anybody out there
Because
heard of Fetterman's?
I'm not into the sports, world.
Yeah, yeah.
But like then I saw like as I was doing some searching, this other company called Hollywood Memorabilia, right, which has these that are up for sale or whatever, right? And then you see here, like, look at that signature, like, right, okay, whatever that is.
Yeah, and it's like,
And then you see,
are these from private if these are his signature from private signings, that's like,
I mean, look at that, right? They want $242 for that,
yeah,
and then we're back to Celebrity Authentics, right? And then so here, I guess this is more of his full signature,
yeah,
right? But still, it's kind of like even on this page, right? Like, what was the shot that I was joking about when we were before?
Oh,
we came on?
there was a dual sign that was like a terrible signature. So Doug from CSR is in the chat, and Doug said, first of all, he said Steel City. So I think Steel City was what he was referring to. Sylvester Stallone canceled because he was getting too much backlash, and then he said that Fitterman is legit. Apparently, they have Mike Tyson and Pete Rose exclusively.
I don't know about Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson, man, that guy was signing like crazy last year. I had people contacting me every week with a private signing for Mike Tyson.
Really?
But I mean, he might be exclusive now. But was it last year or the year before? He was signing around
I know
everywhere.
there's a ton of signatures of Mike Tyson out from
Yeah,
like the Punch Out game
yeah. I have one of a 16 by 24,
of
a
that.
16 by 20 for the Nintendo one signed by
Yeah,
Mike
the
Tyson.
Nintendo Punch Out. There's tons of those out there. I've seen a bunch of those. Also, want to say what's up in the chat too. We've got Jonathan Rivera's in the chat. Arcade Pop is his YouTube name. Yeah, Doug says he's had Tyson for a few years, so I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know, but
I've
like
seen,
exclusive, he might be exclusive now, but yeah, but
yeah,
for a while there, he was whoring himself out pretty bad.
yeah, I've seen a lot of those Punch Out autographs out there.
So it's like
So
here, it's like, can you tell me which
that's it.
one's
Yeah, that's the
Pacino?
one.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
guessing
weird.
it's the top one,
I don't
but
know.
like, yeah,
So that's what we were talking a little bit before, and I'll say this, like, the one thing. So I would say there's three big signings out there right now. Well, okay, four, but a lot of people have Michael J. Fox coming up. So let's push Michael
right,
J. Fox aside. There's three big kind of exclusive signings right now. There's Sylvester Stallone, Al Pacino, and Margot Robbie. And Margot Robbie's the only one that I've seen where they talk about that it's in her contract to do a clean signature. And so I'm curious what these private signings with Pacino and Stallone you're going to get also.
right. But again, remember, like we spoke to with Mike, contracts are not enforceable.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So they can go in that in the contract, right? But let's say you got back, 500 from Pacino, and they were just his little at symbol, basically, the A.
He could say that's his clean signature.
Well, no. But so are you gonna? Am I gonna sue him?
Yeah.
So let's play that out. Let's say I sue Pacino, say, hey, you were supposed to give me, and I win, right? And I get my money back, right? But then again, I will never be able to do a private signing in the business again. No agent will work with me. I'll be blackballed from signing the rest of my life,
Yeah.
right? Even though I'm on the right and it was in the contract, right? but that's just how the system works. Like, oh, you're litigious. Yeah, we don't want to deal with
Mhm.
you.
Doug is saying that Fitterman says full signature for Pacino in the ad. My question is though, what is Pacino's full signature?
Right. I'm guessing it's what the celebrity authentics have.
Yeah, like I just I there's we talked before too. So one name that we brought up or that I brought up was Tom Hardy. So if anybody's seen Tom Hardy's signature, it's very quick and it's pretty much universal. He's got this like swoop kind of signature thing that he does, and that's his autograph. But then there's people like even let's bring up oh, he's saying the one with Bauer was the full signature. So I yeah, the one that you showed I guess is the full signature. Um but so for example, a good one to bring up is look at Ben Affleck. I mean, that he just did private signings where he did these. We have one. He did these beautiful full name signatures, but then he's got like three different street signatures too. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's like all over the place. Again, it's their mood. Like I said, what I've talked about, like with Norman Reedus, his can be beautiful or it can be a line.
Yeah.
It's funny when you're talking about Michael J. Fox. Before he started doing all these signings, when I was working in New York, we
Hmm.
used to do the company I worked for used to do the PA audio system for his charity softball game, because the company I worked with had the same accountant as him,
Yeah,
and so we used to help them out every year with the charity softball game.
that's cool.
And I worked with the accountant personally on a project as well. And I kept pitching the idea of reaching out to Michael about doing a private signings and stuff like that. What he thoughts,
Yeah,
and of course, like a year later, he starts doing them. But at the time, it was kind of I don't think he was comfortable enough. Maybe like the medication got better or something. Like I don't know if he was
yeah,
comfortable enough to at the time. But then you can shortly after he started doing the signings, he started doing getting back onto TV and started getting back in. So some kind of combination of medication has helped him. You know quite a
yeah,
bit, but there's so many times where I've reached out, before, and almost put together stuff. Then like a year or so later, start to see him signing stuff and all over the place. And
yeah. We got Michael Flores in the 258 West bunker chat brought up Angelica Houston, and that is actually one that I'm planning to jump onto. Did you know this, Marco? Because I did not know this. Did so? I'm assuming you've been to Disneyland in the past and seen Captain EO.
the Michael Jackson ride thing, I
Yeah,
don't think
the Michael Jackson 3D
I
movie.
don't think I've actually seen it.
Okay. So I loved that thing. When I was a kid, I lived in Southern California. My mom took me to Disneyland a lot, and I loved it because there was this little furry flying dude, and he came to you, and I wanted one just like I wanted Gizmo, Mogwai. I wanted every little furry fake thing.
Right.
And but Angelica Houston is the basically the bad person in that movie in the video, and I had no idea. And so I definitely think I'm going to jump in on an Angelica Houston signing just because I think that's kind of a cool, unique, different name.
Right.
And then Matt Dolan brought up that Dark Parlor has Tobin Bell. Tobin Bell's been signing like a madman recently.
Yeah.
Um, Tobin Bell's busting him out. But he used to do a lot of the Midwest horror convention scene. So
Stayed away from like the horror genre in general
yeah,
because it's just the same signers over and over and over and over again. And again, that's fine because a lot of the people who collect the horror autographs will have 5 to 10 of the same person.
that's me. I mean, I put pictures up of my little in our bedroom, my little Tobin Bell shrine. I have just in our bedroom alone, I have four autographs of his on the
Yeah, I
wall.
saw the saw blade that you opened up that one time.
Yeah, the one that actually that was really cool. Charles from Autograph City knew that I was a huge Saw fan, so he just actually had one uh, personalized and dated to me. He didn't do like any authentication or anything because he knew like that thing's not leaving my collection. But he took a photo. He took a photo of Tobin signing it for me, and he just sent it to me as a thank you. really, really nice of him to do. But yeah, so I have that up there. I have a signed foot from Mintich, and then I got a signed pop from Fearsome Figures and a signed Bear Trap mask from Fearsome Figures. So I got all these, and then that's not even the picture signed things. I have pictures of Tobin Bell.
Well,
So
I mean, I can't talk. I can't be one to talk about having multiple autographs of somebody. So
yeah, I don't know if yours. I mean, you have to separate your multiple autographs for 258 versus your multiple autographs for your own
I don't
collection.
really collect autographs, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
so there
I
you go.
mean,
So you just have multiple
I
autographs.
have like the stuff that I get personal. What I like to do is like when I do a signing, I usually have them just do kind of like a personalized, one. Like I'll have to next time I'll show a couple on screen, but like one of my favorite ones is I did a signing with Heather Morris
Uh oh.
from Glee,
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
and she wrote like there was a photo. It was her in the cheerleader outfit, right?
Yeah.
And probably about half the photo is white, on to the left of her. And she
Okay.
took a pink pen and filled out the entire thing all the way to the bottom. Like, and the thing is, this like she was talking about like, hey, how much fun the signing was. Thanks for doing it. How she now has
That's
carpal
awesome.
tunnel syndrome and blah, like just like the whole thing all the way to the bottom. And it's probably like an entire paragraph long.
I love
And
that.
then
I've talked about it. Yeah, I love that so
then I
much.
have a Tom Hiddleston one where he did the quote, but he put Marco, you dull creature, the whole quote from the Hulk,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a
yeah.
god, you dull creature. And then he put in like quotation mark or not quotation, but like brackets, Hulk smash,
Uh,
and then signed it, you know.
we were watching at work at work the other day. We were watching uh Thor and the third one. God, I forget what
Ragnarok.
the Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok, and that might be in my opinion that might be the best Marvel movie
Yeah.
they put out.
Takid
It
Wali,
just is so perfect. Takai Waititi is just
he's
brilliant,
the one signature I would love to do. I mean,
dude. Okay, so you and me both. I have two director pops that I need signed.
right,
One is Takai Waititi. I have, and it's got the SDCC sticker. I spent money to get that one, and I told Kendall one day Takai is going to sign this Funko.
right,
Like people can get IG-11 Korg. I want Takai to sign his Funko.
right.
I don't want one of his characters. I want him because I respect the hell out of him. I'll say this. I think we've talked about it before. Jojo Rabbit was the best film last year. If anybody has not seen Jojo Rabbit, go see Jojo Rabbit. One of the best films
I
ever.
actually have a Jojo Rabbit not sign, but story
Oh,
from
really?
last month's signer. We're not going to talk about it yet. Maybe in about 3 podcasts from now, we'll bring up the story
Really? From last month?
from last month's signer. Right,
I'm curious to hear his story about it.
right. They were in a movie together or show together at some point, and like it's just a fun story. But it was a
Okay.
story he told me during the signing.
I look forward to hearing that. I also I know one of the stories you told me about that I look forward to you getting to share with the community about something that they do at each filming. I think that's so funny. Something that they told you.
Yeah,
So, but yeah. So that being said, I have a Takai Waititi pop and I have a James Wan. Um, and those two director Funkos, once they are signed, will be my ultimate grails because I'm a total director. I love directors. Um, and one of my favorite photos that I have a Guillermo del Toro, and it's this really gorgeous photo from Pan's Labyrinth where he's talking to the tree guy
right.
basically, and it's kind of like this Inception kind of director in his own movie photo. But yeah, Takai Waititi is pro. I would say my favorite. I have three favorite directors right now, and it is Takai Waititi, James Wan, and out of left field Ari Aster.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen any of Ari Aster stuff, but
Well, I mean, the stuff that I mean, I can't wait to see the Star Wars movie that he does.
Oh God, it's going to
I
be
mean, what he
insane.
did with the finale of The Mandalorian was insane.
Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be insane. Like he just, I was watching. I don't know why. I was just watching Thor Ragnarok, and I was just the balance of the action,
Comedy.
the comedy, but then also those shots that were like moving artwork, like it looked like a
Yeah.
painting. It was just, and with the music. I mean, the dude is brilliant.
Did one of the things that oh man. Oh, have you watched What We Do in the Shadows? Or What They Do in the
That's on my list to watch because of him. I
So
have not watched it yet.
I'm not going to spoil, but there's an episode where oh, man, it's like I don't want to spoil it, but it's such an
Eh.
amazing. How are you on spoilers? Are you like super against spoilers?
No, you can you can talk.
All right, so
It's fine.
in the scene, the vampires have to go before the vampire council, right?
Okay.
And so they go and they start talking to these people, and they think that they're talking to the vampire council, and it's just these two guys. They're like, oh no no no, you know, I think one of them is Batista,
Okay, yeah.
and then this other woman. They're just like, oh no no no, we're not the council. We're just slaves. You know, we were trapped like 100 years ago because of some stupid thing, right?
Yeah.
And one of the stupid things that they did was actually caused by the other guy that was there. But so they go and they see the council, and it's led by what's her name? Ah, she was in that movie Only Lovers Left Alive with Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, I can't think of it right now.
Crap. But basically, they took every single vampire
Okay.
from every single like movie, TV show for the last 30 years and put them in the same room. Right? So you so you have Paul Rubin from Buffy the Vampire Slayer's character, right?
Oh my
And then they
God.
even have like a webcam set up with like a laptop with Wesley Snipes live streaming in.
Oh my God.
Then you have like I mean everybody you can think of who's played a vampire is in
Yeah.
this scene, you know, and so is him and because Salik is not in the show, so he was I think in the original.
Yeah, he was in the original, but now I think he's just
He's like
making
the
the show.
producer, yeah, and so but
Yeah.
also the guy from Flight of the Concords. He
Okay.
was in one of the vampires, and it's just to see all of the different vampires from all of the different stuff was insanely funny and hilarious. Like
Yeah.
especially when they keep making fun of Wesley and his connection keeps going in and out, and they're like, "Well, he's half vampire, so he gets to be on the council," and they're like, you know, it was just it's insanely good. You should watch it. It takes a little bit to get into, but once it gets rolling, it's a pretty funny show. Paul
I need
Rubens
to watch it.
back. I mean, that was one of the best vampire or death scenes of all time. You saw that, right? Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and so, but
You know, speaking since you brought up Wesley and we talked about Sylvester before, I will say I am excited that after all this time that they're finally making Demolition Man 2.
nice. Yeah, I was thinking about watching like a couple of him and movies. I think there was what Time Cop, not Time Cop,
Yeah.
but Demolition Man, and
So Demolition, like, okay, we were talking about the Sylvester Stallone. I'm actually a Stallone fan. I love the Rocky movies. I even love the new ones, that Rocky Balboa where he kind of came back,
right.
and I guess
Creed.
the no, not Creed, but the Rocky Balboa movie.
Oh, the last
Uh,
Rocky movie. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but and there's actually word that he might not come back for Creed 3 because he's filming another Rocky movie now. Like he wants to do another Rocky movie, but um, I'm a huge fan of his. I love Rocky, but I got his again talking about perfect movies, cast, combination of action, comedy, artistic, sound, all that stuff. Demolition Man was one of those perfect movies.
Yeah.
It's just such a good movie. Like just the and the fact that it's one of those things where it can leave stuff in there and people still talk about it. um, the three seashells. Like the three seashells is a cultural thing now.
Yeah. Well, that goes
Like
into the
nobody knows how to use it.
coronavirus thing too, right? Like that, there's a lot of
Yeah,
memes.
when the coronavirus hit, everybody was talking about we got to learn to use. This is when we learn to use the three seashells because there's no toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like those are the things that I love when a movie not just transcends time, but it actually becomes part of our lives. Like that kind of stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I could do some really cool custom and fun stuff with Salone, but again, it's just one of those things that at 750, it's rough. It would have to be like a big piece that was signed by like everybody type of thing for me to. But even then, it's just
I think somebody posted that getting the whole cast was running you around close to two or three grand.
yeah.
I think.
And there's people out there that'll do it. That have the
Oh
money to
yeah,
do
for
it.
sure.
It's all, like I was talking to a friend. And I mean, like it's all relative, right? Like, what's 750 to somebody who has $80 million, right? Or
Yeah, it's not. It's not. And you know what? That's a. I mean, for somebody out there, for many people out there, having those six people sign one item, send it off, get it custom framed with the laser etched matting and all that stuff, and that's their living room piece. You know what I
well, I
mean?
mean, yeah, I mean, if I was me, right, I would, and I had all the money possible, right, I'd commission like some oil painting, right,
Mm-hmm.
that had like there was like a rocky scene, in an oil painting,
Yeah.
then have them added to it or something like that, like something like to me something unique, one of a kind type of stuff is where I would go with that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, you talked about this before. I think one of the coolest things to have, like if somebody could have it out, I know it's out there, but you talked about it before the charity auction for heroes
Right.
with the paintings that oh, what was the character's name?
Hero.
The prophet. No, the paintings though, the guy who did the paintings in the show.
Oh,
Um,
the
you,
real guy, like Santiago or Guerrero or whatever, or the actual character.
yeah. So, but either one. But the point is that there's that one photo. Do you remember the one painting you did that had all the characters in it?
Okay.
To like the end of times one. The this is the like having that piece like from the show cast signed. Like, could you imagine that? Just like this is your piece in your living room on your wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is I do have some stuff like that. Like I have a Walking Dead poster.
Yeah.
It's a so during the Paley Fest, right?
Mm-hmm.
The panel the for the first season, they framed the panel with two poster boards.
Yeah.
Right, one was the scene of the skeleton that was half the woman, was cut in half, reaching out.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the other one was the scene of the Macy's department store turnstile with all of the.
Oh, that was such a brutal
Right.
scene.
So with both of those, I had them both signed by like everybody on the panel and the producers, and it's one of the only pieces out there that I bet you can find with Frank Davenport on it.
Hmm.
Because like after season one, they parted ways, and he's been suing them,
Yeah.
and and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it, so like I said, I challenge people to find a cooler piece with Frank Davenport. It's like
Yeah.
I had to, but then I ran a promotion at the Philly Wizard World Philly, and I did this thing where you did these dice rolls, and I miscalculated the odds on something, and I think there was like a professional dice roller came and like he kind of like plopped the dice and won, but there was something like like I was that's what
Yeah.
I get for
Weighted
like
dice.
doing the thing at like 2 in the
Yeah.
morning the night before, but ended up giving away that piece, but I still have the other one. But you know, again, I like unique pieces, stuff like that. That's why I was so excited about that art print.
Excited to see it. I'm really excited. For those of you who missed tuning in the beginning, just a reminder, you've got, basically when are you going to take the variants down?
Probably
When do
on
they come down
Friday.
normally? Friday? So you got a couple more days. There are still some variants available. The voice acting variant did sell out. There's about 7 of the inscription variants left, and there's about 25, give or take, of the art variants left. And Marco said from the beginning, these aren't art variants. When they are taken down and put up on 258, they are not going to be $35.
Yeah.
So if you're, I know that we got one of each. We always do because Marco's stuff is basically becoming a staple as gifts and giveaways for the channel. So it's definitely becoming. Oh yeah, Carlos, I'll hook you up with a link for autograph of the. It's actually right there. It's here. I'll put it in the chat. Hang on.
It's just basically autographofthemonth.com.
Yeah, autographofthemonth.com.
So it's also on the screen in neon right below.
Yeah, so Carlos, that's the link. So Carlos, if this is your first time seeing me talk with Marco, Marco is the owner of Autograph of the Month Club. He is the owner of 258 West Authentic. He is the owner of Truly Authentic, which is the authentication that he uses. All websites. Autograph of the Month Club is super cool. $20 a month, you get an autograph every month. $20 a month. It's like and like $3 shipping. And then what Marco does sometimes is he puts out variants, and the variants, or he puts out a special like small batch signing available. But cool. Carlos is awesome. I'm gonna link you a video, Marco, of Carlos and his son doing one of the Back to the Future boxes. Mm-hmm. It's great. It literally makes me smile.
Nice.
So anyway, yeah, Carlos, go check it out. Definitely one of our favorites. One of the best deals out there. And for $20 a month, Marco kills it. These are private Zoom video signings that he does. And yeah, he kills it every time. So definitely go check it out. In the other chat, we've got Karen. Karen's getting her Tobin Bell autograph on Saturday. Very nice, Karen. And Stacy is remembering some kind of place that we used to go see these movies outside of our home. I don't know what that's called. Actually, I do. We've gone to movies again. Luckily, they've been open.
Oh, nice.
So
congratulations. How are the fires and stuff doing in your area?
They're done, man. It's California's getting hit again now. We got smoke all in it, but all around, but it's from California's getting hammered again. So Oregon's doing okay right now.
Yeah, it's rough. You know, I'm just in an area where there's just nothing.
Yeah,
like I have no hurricanes, no flooding, no earthquakes, no tornadoes, no nothing. Just sun.
You've got humidity.
No, I have no humidity.
What? Aren't you in Arizona?
Yeah, but in the Northwest, like up in the mountains.
Oh, so it's not like Phoenix.
No, I mean I even get snow.
What?
Yeah, like
it's Arizona is one of those places we drove. Kendall and I went on a road trip one time where we went. We drove down to.
Have you ever been past? What's the furthest east you've been?
Furthest east?
Yeah.
Florida.
And that's humidity. Florida, Louisiana.
Well, Florida, yeah. No, we go to I've been to NOLA twice. NOLA is probably my favorite place in the country to go visit. The New Orleans is just my happy place. But no, Florida humidity. I'll tell you where they have the most humidity though. I went one time. I got actually all expenses paid trip because I was actually being interviewed for a job in the Cayman Islands.
Right.
I got off the plane and felt like I got hit in the throat. Yeah. I just couldn't breathe. The hotel rooms there, they're all, there's no carpet. Everything's tile because you can't have carpet. And you'd get like showered, dressed for the day. Your hotel room is like at 68, 70. You feel great and walk outside and your shirt's drenched.
Yeah. The first time I went to New Orleans, I was 18. Yeah. And I'd never really been out, just, I guess, east of like Nevada, right? Because I grew up in Oregon. So, I never even knew what the word humidity meant. You know what I mean? Like I thought
about the humidity, in California where you got the California
Right.
humidity.
Like I'd never even like I didn't even know what the word meant. Like I had no clue. Like
Yeah.
I was just ignorant as hell. I get off the
Yeah.
plane in New Orleans. It's 100 degrees and pouring rain. I'm not talking just rain. I'm talking like raindrops like the size of a nickel. Right. And it's
Yeah.
just like you're kind of cutting the air to
I
cut
know.
the air so you can move in, cut the air,
Yeah.
move in. It was just like you. I mean, it was just
Uh,
it was just insane. But you were
we
we were
had
talking about going through Arizona with Kendall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we did a road trip where we kind of followed. So I'm a hockey fan. People should know that by now. And we followed the LA. The LA went and they've had some home games, and then they went to Vegas, and then they went to Arizona, and then back to LA. So we went from LA to Vegas to Arizona. We did like the little triangle,
Right.
And so we get we get from California, LA to Vegas, and Vegas is dry, and then we go from Vegas to Arizona, and I don't think we really. It's not that bad of a drive. I don't think we really stopped. So we didn't stop till we got out of the car,
Well, no, it's
and
4 hours from Vegas to Phoenix.
yeah, it wasn't bad. So I don't think we stopped, and um, we get out of the car, and it just like that atmosphere change just hit. And there's times where Phoenix is kind of like that, where the air is like thick with water,
Yeah.
but there's no like, it's almost like it's raining, but it's not hitting the ground.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever experienced that. I mean, I don't go to
Yeah, there's
Phoenix
a.
very much, but you know,
I'll tell you where we experienced though what you're talking about. We did a trip last year. We went to Thailand. I don't
nice.
know if have you ever been to
No.
Thailand? Thailand, we got caught in the, like, people talk about like, oh my god, it's a downpour. No, you have no idea.
I've thought about retiring in Thailand, but not Thailand itself, but more like in those areas. But
Yeah, so we spent a week in Bangkok and a week in Phuket. And this trip, the week that we were in Bangkok, we were going down Khao San Road. Is that the one? Or is that Phuket? Anyway, one of the main tourist roads in Bangkok. And all of a sudden, we're looking around, and the weather's great. And we're looking around, and all the vendors are grabbing their shit and running inside. And we're like, what the hell are they doing? Like, there's not a cloud in the sky. Everything's gorgeous. We're walking where they serve all the drinks in these little bags that you carry,
yeah,
and all of a sudden, just it felt like we jumped into a pool.
yeah. Well, that happens here sometimes during monsoon season.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere, like usually at night, we'll just get hit with a flash flood of just rain, right?
Jeez. Yeah.
And but they've got channels for that all around the town. Where it all pulls into and goes away.
Yeah.
But it can go like there's a park here called the Green Hole. It's about the size of two football fields, right?
Okay.
And it slopes down about I would say about 10 or 12 feet, in a slope. Then it goes out. And one year that filled up all of it, right? Up to the top and onto the road in less than an hour. It was that much water. And
Yeah.
but what it is when you get those things like that, it's when you're near the jet streams and you have
Hmm.
a hot one and a cold one hit each other at the same time, right? Then it creates this
Yeah.
just burst of rain.
I gotta say though, it's nice. It's nice to, like, you being from Oregon. Typically, when it's raining in the Pacific Northwest, it's not actually that warm out. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so like in Thailand, we were soaked, but it kind of felt good.
Right.
It's nice.
It's one of those things that
So
you don't really like. I didn't really realize how much it rained in Oregon until I left. And then every time I go back to Oregon, it's just like raining somewhat all the time. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But like in New York, it would rain, but it would only rain at night. Because in New York, you have the jet stream from Canada and the one
Hmm.
coming up, and it kind of both meet over New York.
Yeah.
And so at night, there would be thunderstorms and, a lot of rain at night. But during the daytime, you wouldn't see as much.
Yeah.
And and stuff. But it's just crazy. But
Yeah, it's just yeah, the different places around the world that it just like it blows my mind. You know, talking about we were talking about New Orleans, though that is the one. Um, I told Kendall because New Orleans is a place that that creation goes a lot.
yeah,
And I told her, how cool would it be to go to Supernatural convention or especially this one? Could you imagine going to an Originals Vampire Diaries convention in New Orleans?
yeah. I mean,
It'd probably be
I'm
the
actually in the
coolest
middle
thing.
of catching up on the originals. I just finished season 2.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So, in my opinion, people can tell me that they disagree. I like the originals more. I just
I like it. It's just it was so annoying during the first season, and I know they're trying to
okay.
brand the show,
Yeah.
But one of the most annoying things was like, oops, I hit the wrong button there. Sorry about that. One of the most annoying things was them repeating the word "the originals," and again, I know they're
Oh yeah.
branding, right? So like,
Yeah,
oh
they're
my
trying to
god, it's
offshoot.
one of the originals, or
Yeah.
you're gonna say that to an original? Oh no, look, here comes walking down the street an original. A vampire.
Yeah.
It was just they would say the word original vampire at least 3 or 4 times per episode, and they would always
Yeah.
say it like in this an original dun 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 type of thing, right? And then in season
Yeah.
2, what drives me nuts is you have the thing with Cammy and Klaus and these people like
Hmm.
where they're always like turning on each other like, oh my god, you know, this person is so evil and we need to kill them or something like. Yeah, they're all evil. They've all killed 1 million people. You know what I mean? Like here, you're.
You all are bad
It's
people.
like when
Everybody's bad.
when she's like talking about like Klaus versus what's his Marcel. Like
Yeah.
Marcel's an evil guy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, did you not watch? You know what I mean? Like, they're all bad and they're all killers. You know what I mean? It's just because one person has killed more people or killed somebody that you liked more than the other person. It's like it goes back to the whole. I don't want to. Oh man, see, I can't. I'll tell you off air, but
All right.
it just
It draws me. I guess. But what draws me, I guess, is so. I'm assuming you've been to New
yeah.
Orleans. Yeah. So I think what draws me is just you have this like Kendall and I have talked about it before. Kendall and I, at some point in our later years retirement, we will own some type of apartment, condo, something in New Orleans that we rent out for most of the year and then go kind of in the spring, fall time. You know what I mean? Like there's like a window in like April,
Where
May
it's
where there's really
not
no hurricanes and
underwater.
there's no, yeah, it's not underwater and it's not blistering hot. There's like this perfect time to be in New Orleans, kind of right around Mardi Gras, kind of like a couple weeks before, a couple weeks after. Um, but so we've talked about that we want to have a place there because there is like this special place in our heart for New
I
Orleans.
think it's cute that you think it won't be underwater by then.
I
It reminds me of the Ted Cruz thing, or no, not Ted Cruz. That weird kid.
mean, as long as we get further enough inland, there's the inland will become the wetlands, which will kind of help slow it down a
Well,
little.
even when I went, the French Quarter was completely flooded. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it
it's
floods every year now.
and this was back, like I said, when I was 8. I just turned 18, and everybody always hates me for this, but I went, and I'm your typical food person, like basic, right? And so
Hmm.
I'm in New Orleans, and what is it that I go and eat the whole time I'm there?
Pizza.
Cheeseburgers. I wanted to see who had the best cheeseburger. And so
Mm.
I went around just trying different cheeseburgers at different places. I'm like, I went to Hooters. I went to like,
That's not even a New Orleans place for a cheeseburger. That's just a cheeseburger.
it's just. But that's my point. That's how like I love. There's this woman on TikTok. She does this series called Cooking with Caucasians,
Okay.
and every scene she has, every scene she's in, when she pans to another scene or does another angle, there's always a bottle of mayonnaise. And she always makes like it's so depressing. She's just like,
Do you remember the old parody videos before she came out as a racist. The old parody Paula Deen, where it was Cooking with Paula Deen, and everything was just okay. And now a stick of butter here, and a stick of butter here.
And so she's just like, but like some of the stuff she says is like super depressing. She's like, "There's no need for salt because I salt it with my tears." You know, yeah. Well, but
That's
she's just
awesome.
hilarious. She's a comedian in New Jersey, and it's so funny. But I mean, that's just the way I am. Like, I don't. Pepper's too
Yeah.
spicy for me. 90% of the time. You know what I mean? Like,
So yeah, I'm totally opposite. Like I am all about. I'm a total foodie. Like when I go somewhere, I find the celebrity chefs. I find the
oh, I am
yeah. I
now.
find.
Don't get me wrong, but when I was 18,
Oh yeah,
you know what
okay.
I
When
mean?
you're in,
And I
yeah,
grew up on eating, like, I was super poor when I grew up, right? Like, we
yeah,
had the summer where my mom found a special on tuna fish. So she bought
mm-hmm.
like 10 cases of tuna fish for this. So all summer
Mm.
we had tuna fish sandwiches. Then there was like the year she bought macaroni and cheese. And if we were lucky, we got some of the mac and cheese. Then there was the summer of the Whopper where Whoppers were $1. So we had
Yeah.
Whoppers every day all summer. Then there was the four
Hey, I
ninety
had
nine pepperoni pizzas at Domino's summer, where we had Domino 4.99 pizza every day all summer.
I had an ex girlfriend who told me the stories about her mother's tomato soup recipe involved as many of the ketchup packets as she could get
Yeah,
from a
I
restaurant.
used to make pizza at home, and this is how I made pizza when I was at home. I'd get a package of pepperoni, right?
Yeah.
Some white Wonder Bread, some ketchup, and those Kraft cheese packets, right? And then I put them in the oven, and put the pepper, and let it cook for like 5 or 10 minutes. You know what I mean? And toast them in the oven, and that was my idea of like homemade pizza.
Yeah. And now it's like your world's expanded.
Well, it is. I traveled. I mean,
Yeah.
I when I did a 3 month road trip around the U.S. doing conventions,
Yeah.
for an entire summer, I lived out of my truck. I mean, and hotels, of course, but
Yeah.
a lot of Motel Sixes. Because it was lucky is they remodeled a lot of them, and they were still only like $70 a night. So,
Yeah.
but I'd roll into a town, and I would like go up and like look, on the Food Network, the diners, dumpsters, and dives, and kind of look at like what was known in that city, and try
Hmm.
the different places and try the different foods, and some
That's
it's
awesome.
still honestly some of the best foods I've ever eaten is still in Oregon. Like my favorite pizza,
Dude.
there's a in Salem if you ever get a chance. There's a place called. They took a house, right?
Okay.
And it was a 2-story house, and they made it into a breakfast only place that's open like 7 to 2,
Okay.
and it's called Word of Mouth Bistro,
Okay.
and they have some of the best food. They have this thing called the Flying Biscuit, and it's just this giant fried chicken breast on these biscuits with nice marble cut bacon,
Yeah.
with gravy and like stuff, and then like it's just this thing called the Flying Biscuit.
Yeah.
And the lines to get in that place back in the day when I'd go visit and stuff, you'd have to wait at least an hour, hour and a half to just get in, and like
Yeah.
literally you just go upstairs and like one of the bedrooms would have like 4 tables and the other bedroom would have like 3 tables, and they'd turn like the kitchen like dining room into a bar that you could sit at, and like
Yeah.
the front porch had a couple tables, and you know
That's awesome.
but
I think what brought us to this, I was saying so I think the thing that gets me with the originals, and even we've talked about this before. American Horror Story Coven
right.
is one of my favorite American Horror Story seasons. I think what gets it is literally my love and Kendall and my love for New Orleans, and there's I don't remember witchcraft is huge throughout all the original
Yeah.
seasons, and all those places that they go to and most of the names that they talk about, they're all real.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing about those shows. Like the Michelsons weren't real. Like
Right.
let's be honest, like the Michelsons aren't real. all the stuff witchcraft wise is all real people, real places, real things,
Well,
and I just think I love that
what
about
about
those
the
shows.
Nicolas Cage pyramid tomb in
Oh, that's I've been there.
I went there. I actually, one of my ex girlfriends I met at a convention. She had a booth next
Hmm.
to mine at New Orleans,
Yeah,
and we ended up spending like a few days in New Orleans after the convention, and so and that was like in 2013 or 14, I think, right around. But we do have somebody. I think I don't know. Is David Patton in here?
I haven't seen him pop up today. No,
He's from New Orleans. Uh, he's always posted about his Saints losing all the time now.
I think we keep talking about Oregon. Oregon, by the way. I think that Carlos is from Oregon. I think Carlos, are you? You're in Eugene, right? I think he's local too. But yeah, so yeah, the Nicolas Cage pyramid tomb.
Yeah, it's but that was one of the things I remember seeing when I was there, and because
Hmm.
everybody's like, why do they always have tombs? Well, they're below seawater. You can't really bury people.
No,
Like it's
the way the way. So if people don't know, like, again, if you have not, if you're listening and you have the ability to get to New Orleans, go to New Orleans, do a tour. There are very few places in the world with that much history. Um, let me rephrase. There are very
unique
few
history.
places in this country with the history of New Orleans, and just the way that everything that they do is unique. At their burial process, they basically put you in these tombs. If you're just a normal person, they put you in these above ground tombs, and it's basically a brick pizza oven,
Yeah.
and they cook you until you're just bone, and then they push your bones to the back.
Yeah, but you got to be creative with, that's why I think Nicolas Cage bought his ahead of time,
Yeah, but he did that because so many people just it really is a there's an energy there, and it really is a magical
Yeah.
place.
I mean, when
It
you think
really
about
is.
it, very few places have held on to. This is one of the things I think is like we talk about culture. Like in America, what is
Hmm.
American culture, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's everything is made up of someplace else. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like there's I don't even want to use the word American culture because it goes back to like what is America? Well, America is two continents, right? You have North America and South America. America is not
Yeah.
just the U.S. I mean, and so it's like what is U.S. culture? I guess, right? Like
Yeah.
we're that's why it's like people always ask, so where are you from, or what are your people from? I mean, they don't ask,
Yeah.
you can't just
Yeah.
say, well, I'm American, or I'm
Yeah.
you know from I mean, like, no, where are your people from? I mean, like,
Yeah.
like
But no, Nola's got that. Nola.
has that culture, like it was able to hang on to a lot
Yeah.
of that, and I think they made it and kind of held on to it and kept it. Kept it
Eh.
kept it and
Okay.
moved on with it. You know what I mean?
They haven't it hasn't changed.
Right.
It's lived on. And I think part of that is the energy. And we did I know somebody who's in the bunker. He has a YouTube channel, Audie the box auditor. He started doing some ghost tour stuff. And Audie, we did a ghost tour in New Orleans, and it was one of the coolest experiences. Just the again, if you got a chance to go, people got to go. This place is one of the coolest places ever, and that's where this whole thing started with. I think it'd be so cool to go to a Vampire Diaries or Supernatural convention in New
Well,
Orleans.
one of the things that's really fun is the I don't know how many people know about the brown coat ball.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
They do it in a different city every year, and
Hmm.
and usually it's one night, but then you go for like the entire week, and then you learn a lot about wherever you're at. It's like the host city puts together like this whole plan and this whole setup, and I think a brown coat ball like in New Orleans, if they haven't had one, would be pretty cool. You know,
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
But all right. Well, I think that
I think we've been going for a while.
yeah, I think we've been going 90 minutes, and we were like, hey, let's just do a quick show to get it out of the way tonight.
Yeah, we talked about doing a quick. We literally, before we came on, just so everybody knows, this is what happens to Marco and I. We literally were like, let's just do a quick show. We'll give an up. Marco can give an update about Autograph of the Month Club. We could talk about Stallone and Pacino. And now an hour and a half later, we're talking about New Orleans and food.
Yeah, because we got late. We're like, yeah, let's just do something just so that we can get it out of the way and have something, tonight, But
anyway,
well, thanks for
go check out Autograph of the Month Club, everybody. There's a couple of variants left. There, Marco's going to try to get them out soon, and I'm stoked for this one.
Cool. So yeah, at the latest, I should have them shipped on Monday.
Awesome. Man.
All right, guys.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye.
Peace.